So let me see if I can understand the next phase, next level of communication. Because throughout my YouTube career, especially this past year, I've enjoyed finding information and sharing it with those who are giving the information. And now it kind of becomes an addiction. It's kind of addicting, I gotta tell you. But that's because I have my own delusion. I've created my own delusion, which makes me think of communicating with the ends of the earth. I just want to know who's in charge, and I want to hang out. That's all. I want to hang out and talk about the truth of everything that has ever been and will be. But in my videos, I like to show what people are saying. I like to show who's saying it, and then I like to answer if there's questions or if there's things I want to try to explain what it means. So what I'll try to do is, because that's an addiction, I'm gonna have to try to wean off only on like major topics that, well, who the hell is even gonna understand what the hell I'm saying anyway? What does it even matter? What does it even matter? That's what I've told myself before. That's what got me to continue to talk to this device. And then with my delusion, I can use that and hop on that wavelength of, it just feels good. Look, it's something to do. I'm driving home from work. I get to talk out loud and record it. And usually before, like in the beginning, I thought I was talking to myself. But then now I realize, not just now, but more and more, it's just about communicating with other people. All types of different spirits that are watching this channel. But it's not just a channel. All types of spirits watch everybody. But the ones that are used to, as the world turns on my channel over here, the name of this channel, it's just what happens over here. There's a lot of people that are truly from the inside that watch my channel, because they're sent in different directions. And I know the game. Pretend you don't like the guy. Pretend he's just slander him as much. You call him whatever you can possibly think of. It doesn't matter if it's ridiculous. Just say it and read it. All right? Say it and read it, son. Yes, Father. I don't know really what I'm talking about, but I mean, the only way that I know is that my father told me. What's that, Father? Yeah. Okay. Stop giving my opinion, just stick with reading the script. Okay. Yeah, but I don't even know what the hell I'm even reading. But I enjoy the money. Yeah, hey, thanks, Father. So Father is in my ear. I have a dead sheep on my ear. There's a dead sheep. It's called an earpiece that's behind Johnny's ear. It's a slain lamb. Not the lamb that, if you understood what this meant, that I don't want sacrifice, then you would understand that I'm not taking communion with the bread of life for any reason. Because it's not what It doesn't make sense. Nobody wants that. So because I don't care that the majority of the people, if you tune in, if I'm at the point where I make 0 sense to you and you tune out, how could I even get offended? I won't even know that it happened. But these are all things that conjure up in your head that you think of that really actually can change and alter your direction with what you're going to do. So I'm glad I didn't listen to those demons and just continue talking and talking and talking and talking, and then getting more and more people that are kind of well known on the earth, just in a communication. Like, regardless of who I say anybody is or isn't, I don't freaking know anything. My father tells me, but it's not in the ear. It's not with the earpiece, but it's in my ears. I have ears to hear what the Father's saying, but I don't need anything in my actual ears to hear what the Father's saying. But some people need that in their ear in order to know what they're talking about. Some of them have eyes to see because they can see the script in front of the holographic projected script on the windshield, so you can read your script when you pretend you're driving in a green screen. I'm not going to be able to do the green screen yet because I would have to I don't have a garage where I can just pull my truck in and have a green screen. Well, I do have a garage, but I don't have it set up. I have it in a studio. So it doesn't matter what I really say. Who cares? Because all I'm going to think about is, all right, what is it that I heard? From who did I hear it from? And then what are they trying to tell me with the information that they're just recently delivering? Yeah, all right, so there are people that it's going to be difficult to communicate, like with the people you've been communicating with. Not that you're going to get separated, but that there's a separation. If you can see what the separation is, you're not going to lose your crown. There's no point in arguing with people if they don't understand what you're saying. But if they do understand what you're saying and are acting like they don't, well then, why would you lose your crown? It's like you can flip your head, like you could flip your wig off of what people say. You can attach feelings to it and get salty. But that's only for clowns. Like, you can only a clown would sit there and tolerate something like that, because that's what they are. They're clowns. They just dress up and look goofy. You can't even take a clown serious. So the way of communication in the future, which is right now, it's now. No, now it's now. Now it's the future. Right now we're in the now. Now it's into the future. Because it just passed by. So how you talk in the future is just moment to moment, ain't it? Each moment, each second. Because it's each minute. You know how much your thoughts can change in 1 minute? You can go from feeling good to panicking about something because of what you see or what you think about as you're just thinking. 1 minute's time can change your entire life. And then you hop on that 1 minute thought that helped you. It helped you defeat something in your head that was bothering you, or even a distraction. You tend to find yourself getting less distracted no matter what's going on around you, because that means you're focusing in on what you really need to think about, which is casting out any kind of demons that get you off track. Even if you hear duck sounds squawking in the side over there somewhere, it doesn't matter. Whatever you're thinking about, just continue to stay on that track. Don't get distracted by anything. Every time you cast out something that's been illing you, something simple because of your thoughts moment to moment, it's freedom. What's that? Stop giving away the secrets. Okay. All right. So it really is about communicating with the other spirits on this planet that came down from heaven. There's so many people in the world that I've always felt Satan's spirit always tries to cast doubt into my mind. Even as I'm talking, just explaining what I know in my heart, but as I'm saying it, I know that 95% of people won't even believe it or even think of it or don't even know what it really is. But I know that there's that small percentile that knows. You only get the sign of Jonah. That's it. You don't get anything else. You see your leader become a different person in front of you. That's all. That's the sign that you're going to get. Who's that guy? Who's that person or woman or man or woman? Who are those men and who are those women that are the most important people to get this message through? Even if I didn't have any subs or a platform, if I wasn't on YouTube, if there was nothing, no social media, but I just had a phone and I had record time, I would know that if I wanted to talk to the same people I'm talking to now, I would do the same exact thing. I would talk in the same exact way. Maybe I might be a little bit more direct because you don't want to scare away your audience because you think you might know something that they might not know just yet. Because at the same time, people can look at you like you think you're so smart, but you're not. It's just the spirit that you're being led by. Who's in? Whoever's in, well, I think there's a few. Like, no man knows the day or the hour. Tell no man. But what about the woman or the woman? There's women and there's women. There's human woman, there's human women. Which one's which? This is human psychology. Your brain thinks each second. You can go off track. You can think of something else that makes more sense. You can just shut up and sit there. It doesn't matter what you do. But when you have an ability to reach people that continually watch, even if they don't understand, you continually watch because you know why? There are some things that I say that make sense to everybody, just depending on how much you can tolerate me for whatever reason your enemy inside of you is telling you, or it could be the Christ inside of you telling you something about me that is irritating you. But I didn't realize it till I rewatched my videos after time and understand and see. What a clown. Like, yeah, Robin, what a freaking Fruit Loop clown. Who do you think you are? And where are you even coming up with your, nothing ever happened, predictions, setting dates? Man, I got played, didn't I? I sure fell into that Q conspiracy. But what if some of those things that I said were right and they didn't do it? Well, that would be my delusion again. But what if my delusion is reality and they really didn't do it? Because how would they explain that? How would they explain that? How did he get the information? We don't. Yeah. Okay. So somebody on the inside. Either way, it doesn't matter. Moment to moment, your thoughts. If anybody can remember anything that I've ever tried to get people to understand, out of anything I've ever did, said, or done, right or wrong, is to get you to understand your thoughts. Why do you always listen to the first one? What is it with your first initial thought? Why do you have to listen to it and react from it? Well, because you believe it's yours, because it's in your head. Who else is thinking for you? Well, they're all connected. You're connected to your negative and positive energy. You can have negative energy, you can have positive energy. You can think for yourself. You could have already turned this video off. But out of everything that I think is the most important thing is just to get your thoughts in order. Think about where they come from, and what, especially if you have like a problem with anger, or I'll give it to John, like I'll still name certain people, because Johnny the Third, the wise guy, because I heard him say, he cursed, and he's like, oh, and Heidi said that you brought that to his attention too, just the cursing in general, like it. You know, what if some kids watch your channel and they just don't feel like hearing you cursing? But he called himself a couple times. That's what's up. Because I remember talking about that cursing out loud. Whether he wants to give me credit or not, it doesn't matter. I'm not looking for credit. You know in your heart that it's true. Because you heard it, and then it resonated with you when you hear yourself doing it. Just like when I've rewatched my videos, even recent ones, I still get caught up. I still get caught up in talking in a way that I don't want to talk after I rewatch it. So it's definitely a conscience, an awareness. You got to be awake constantly, which means you got to catch your thoughts constantly. Why are you feeling like that? Why did that anxiety just pop in your spirit? Well, because I just thought of something that made me feel anxious. Day in and day out, you do the same thing, day after day after day. When nothing even happens, and every time you get anxious, do you not remember the day before when you were doing the same thing? Where did it get you? Well, throughout the entire day, you're stressed out because of something. Well, it's because you keep thinking of the same thing repetitively. That's like that sting that's going to happen. When men get stung, they're going to constantly repeat. You guys are going to constantly repeat repetitive thoughts as to what happened. So before that happens, if I can help people, help them control how these thoughts they repeat in your head constantly, and how to just stop it, cast it out. Well, the main thing you got to do is fast. You gotta. It's the only way. It's the only way. You gotta fast for at least 3 days of not eating anything, and then listening to the thoughts. This is how you turn the volume up to figure out where are they coming from. When you start to not eat, you're used to being hungry. So the thing that everybody does in a plant is they eat something, or they'll go in the refrigerator and grab something. You're so used to it because that's your first initial thought. It's the first one. Pops in your head, I'm hungry. All right, let me get something in the refrigerator. Second thought, I'm hungry, yeah, but should I break my fast because I'm hungry? Well, yeah, you should, because that's your other thought. And then you're bouncing back and forth. That's what's going on inside of your spirit. You're the one in the middle. You're the funnel. These two spirits are just like going around you, and you're the funnel. What one do you want to let drip into the IV? Which one do you want to turn up the volume so you can hear it better? Which one are you tired of hearing? Are you tired of hearing the one that makes you sick? I mean, when you are made sick it's just something that it takes too much energy out of you. And a lot of times when I was made sick by other people, it's because even though they're still lying, I'm the one judging them. And I've already done it before. I've already judged it. It's just, let those who are evil be evil still, or let those who are righteous, or let those who have to communicate in such a way that if it's fooling you, that you're even attaching sick feelings to that, well, then they are some damn good actors, and they're doing their job very well. Now it's up to you to realize that. And even if nobody is acting, you're attaching the feelings to that person, and it affects your emotions. The best feeling in the world is to get rid of the same thing that's been ill in you day after day, and then you start to see progress, and then you start to feel better just because of the fact that you know you're stopping something that you've always done in your life. That's the motivation. If John stops cursing with the F word like that, and the laughter is part of the same spirit that's attached to the something that's like uncontrollable. That's what that spirit is. And obviously he has hope for just casting something out that's it's a old pattern. You got to break that habit. Create the new pattern. So the new pattern is in his head. Whoever it's from. If there's two or more, well, then that's when people start listening. So maybe John heard it from me, because he did watch my videos. He's assigned to me, of course. And Heidi said something to him as well. And where there's two or more witnesses, if that works, and people behind the scenes, or Johnny himself, sees that it's like that actually works, like he's stopping the cursing, and it feels good to be able to stop doing things. It's just one habit after another. You'll start breaking it down. And don't be prideful because people are helping you try to think. That's what this is all about. We're all trying to cast demons out so we can stop believing the psyop. Like, people are literally believing that they have to do something to the tree of life in the midst of the garden because of fear driven. But that's going to be put to the test for all of us. And I'm sure I'm I'm not someone that's excluded from that. Casting out one habit at a time. It makes you feel better. Because don't you get tired of doing the same thing? Isn't life like monotonously boring when you got to do the same thing over and over and over again? Then change it up. Especially when you have anger issues, or just if you get irritated easily. So what I'll try to do is I'll try to just remember what was talked about, mainly on the previous videos that I watch. And if you can see my watch history, then you would know what videos I watch. You'd know what videos I pay attention to the most, or what's the most important direction to go. Because whatever I hear, just with regular human ears, whatever I hear, I listen to it. And then whatever I can hear with my spiritual ears, I'll reciprocate in my video. I've learned this through the Surveillance Corporation, is that they have the ability to present things in front of you that it's something that happens in your life that it's like, oh, and then you hear this over here, it's like, oh, yeah. And everything is similar to what you've been going through. It's a way of getting your attention. So when I hear the Father in my ear, it's the sound of, it's silence. It's the sound of silence. But even when there's noise, I'm still hearing it. But there's no audio. You cannot possibly hear it. There's nothing. No voice, no hearing of anything other than what you are naturally hearing in your ears. That's where I get my information from. That's who talks. Like, but I know that there's other people out there that know the same feeling because they're talking to the same spirit. It's like an outside spirit, and there's different people that are communicating in the same way with the same spirit. I just call it God, and I'll continue to just call it God, because the name God, the reason why it's been, we're just going back to the original, but the reason why it's been Father, God, Yahuwah, Yahushua, Yahama, Yahamalak, Shamalak, and I'm sure there's at least 10 other names, is to confuse the hell out of you. So when you go back to knowing that God, when you're talking about the God in your spirit, there's no need to talk about Satan, because that's not, we all know who we're not talking about anymore. Satan's old news. He knew his time was up. Why do you think he's trying to get? He's trying to get as many people to that party for 1,000 tables. That way, when you get 1,000 of your people there, and they were promised something, and they're under the misconception as to what they're promised to get in this life, that they have to do a certain thing, because you know all about that landscape in Philadelphia. Some crazy landscaping going on in Philly. It's landscaping. The scaping of land. So the psyop in your head goes back to your original first injected thoughts, is what this entire video is about. It's your injected thoughts. They're constantly running in my head. I either hop on the wave of the one that I know is going in the right direction, or I'll get sidetracked sometimes with the anger, and that'll hop in my brain, my spirit, and then there's some irritation there, and then I'll attach some feelings of somebody, because I think, like, don't you guys ever just give up, stop acting? And then I remember, nah, I get it, you have to continue to act. I understand it's power to act. I mean, it is a 42-month period. Nobody can break their script. It's not what you're supposed to do. Maybe I put pressure on people sometimes to make them feel like they need to, but listen, a lot of times I'm just taking a wild guess, so I don't really hold anybody responsible for my negative feelings. I'm the one that allowed myself to feel that way because of what I interpreted with anybody who's either with me or against me. But I understand. Look, WWE wrestling, WWF, I watched it when I was young. I never understood why they wore tight ass underwear, but now I understand, and it's all an act until the time's up, and then whoever was supposed to be put in charge, it's like Scripture says that none come to his help. Who is that person? There's somebody out there that thinks that they're, because they were promised to rule and reign, but they're not. They don't know that. See, they think they're the person that has already showed up, because they're a little bit behind, because they're not the first fruits, a part of the second. Second death is way more painful than the first death. You can't die the second death when you already died the first. You die to this world. What? I feel like I've been through this before. Like it seems to be like my memory seems to think, like I remember that being like how it was leading in this direction. Like the feeling of riding the wave, because it's those thoughts that I've been able to get a hold of, and you just continue to ride the wave of the energy. Some people are really good at the negative waves. They can just hold on to it, and man, they are the best damn surfers on the planet. If they can attach themselves to the positive wave, their whole entire life can change, and many others along with them, because of the influence that they have negativity. Their negativity inside of them is so powerful. So that's those demons when they get. Who do you think Christ used to cast the demons out? He used Beelzebub to freaking cast them out, and got Beelzebub to cast them out. You get them at the top, and then get them to just. They're going to go through the same days the same things that Christ went through. But if you interpret it literally, man, you're going to be scared to go through the same things that Christ went through. But when you know the truth, you were promised that you're going to go through the same thing that Christ went through. So Christ is promising you that you're going to go through the same exact thing that he went through. Yeah. Man. It's going to be so easy. It's so hard to lose your head in this. But you don't want to flip your wig with people that are talking to you, in a rude way. Don't worry about it. Like, you understand that people have a job to do, regardless of what it is. You don't need to name names.